Hello everyone, it's another mass-produced dry hop sour beer from Brooklyn Brewery this time. Their Bel Air Sour, one that I've had a couple times before, but this bottle is less than 3 weeks old. I haven't had a super fresh batch yet, and it was pretty good the last few times, but I'm thinking this bottle will be quite a bit better and worth reviewing. So it's a really simple sour beer, just churro and wheat malt, and they use Pearl, Challenger, Mosaic, and Amarillo hops, and they say they generously dry hop it with Amarillo hops. It's 5.8% alcohol. This says a best by date of August 14th, and it's very, very far from that time. So I'm pretty sure it was bottled on February 14th, so just like 19 days old, which is pretty fresh for something from Brooklyn. We usually don't get their beers that crazy fresh up here. 5.8% alcohol, did I say that? And I just realized the glass color kind of matches the label here. And it's pretty clear, very pale. I even tried to see if I could rouse some yeast on the bottom, but Brooklyn does pretty clear, probably lightly filtered beers. You can see my face through there. And let's smell this. Yeah, I got tartness. I definitely got some orange. Not a huge hoppy aroma. Very slight resin, but yeah, it's got the tart candied, slightly not quite sour orange, but it smells like an orange candy, or an orange sort of sour gummy worm or something like that. They say tropical fruits, but I'm not really getting that in this one. They don't dry hop it with Mosaic. I think they only use that, in a boil or something. So I'm not getting a lot of Mosaic aromas. Maybe a touch of peach, but it's mostly citrus forward, I would say. It smells nice. It smells like it's only going to be a little bit sour, but there's definitely going to be some lacticity happening. Really clean. They just use their regular house ale yeast. It's not Belgian yeast or anything happening in this beer, so I don't really notice any yeastiness. But it's nice. It seems like it's going to be pretty refreshing. 5.8 is kind of high actually for dry hop sour beers. Yep, it's got that quick, zippy, or as they say, snappy feel or something. Dry, snappy. It's dry, snappy, and bursting with notes of tropical fruit. There's some sweetness, definitely. It's not like biting into lemon like some dry hop sours that are overwhelmed by the sourness. It's not too sweet and malty. They really balance the sour and sweet pretty well in this beer. Of course, I wish it were just a tad drier, not necessarily a lot more sour. But yeah, I'm not really getting, maybe there's a little bit of unripe pineapple or something, but it's mostly just sweet and tart orange and some candy sort of flavors like sweet tarts. I definitely get that too. It's reminds me of the Lagunitas Aunt Sally, but a lot better. That one's darker, and it also is sweeter at the same time, and more sour, and I don't know, for some reason it didn't work. This one is much more pleasurable. It just seems like it's a fresh citrus spritzer type beer. It's not going to be very, very sour. It's a good maybe introductory sour or something like that. But I enjoy how it's not overwhelming with the lactic acid element to cover up the hops, and they're definitely both noticeable. Nothing's getting in the way though. Finish is pretty refreshing. There's maybe just a very slight hop resin-y quality going on in there. It's not very bitter, but yeah, you can't really make a lot of these sour beers bitter. It doesn't work with the whole lactobacillus usage. I don't know if a lot of you know about how these beers get soured and how you bitter beers, but if you throw in a lot of hops in the boil of the beer to get bitterness out of it, then you won't be able to get the lactobacillus to work in the beer because it doesn't work in a high IBU environment. In a very bitter environment, lactobacillus will just, I don't know if it'll die or it just is inactive. So that's why with these, you've got to dry hop a lot of sour beers to make them hoppy. There are a couple beers out there called sour IPAs, but they're not actually that bitter. I suppose if you made a really bitter IPA and then blended that with a sour beer, that's a way that you could get bitterness and sourness, but that's probably hard to do and make it really good. And also, if you have enough sourness in a beer, that will balance sweetness and fill in for the hop bitterness, basically. I think this one is going to be like their spring seasonal. It's definitely worth getting, especially if you can get it nice and fresh. It's got lots of, sweet tart, Smarties, and sort of gummy citrus candy and orange sort of zestiness. It's got an orange oil, I would say, flavor, like when you squeeze the peel and a little bit of liquid comes out of there. It's got that going on. It's very, very fresh. Like fresh squeezed orange, but it's not juicy like a juicy IPA or anything like that. It's more of a sort of seltzery orange spritzer thing going on, but it's really nice, pleasant. I would definitely recommend it, and I like it a lot more than some of the other bigger regional breweries 6-pack dry up sours. Because I can notice all the elements in there. I'm not walking away being like, this is just a crazy sour beer. I didn't notice the hop elements or there was too sweet or something like that. So good job, Brooklyn. Bye-bye. Oh, 80, 280, I don't know, whatever.